Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, may I have your attention, please? Are you ready to engage in a mind-blowing experience and hear talks about life, technology, entertainment, and business? The next episode of Hipther Talks starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hello everyone, welcome to Hipther Talks. This is Jasper, and today I have something different for you, something special. I have the privilege to welcome here in the office actually, Adorian. Hello Adorian, thank you for being here. And this will be something, as I said, something different. We won't be talking about industry related things. We will be discussing something, let's say, about life experience, about life itself and the experiences of Adorian. But before we jump into the more serious discussion, Adorian, welcome again, and please introduce yourself.
Nice to meet you, Jasper. Thank you for inviting me here and giving me the opportunity to talk about my experience from Nepal. So my name is Adorian Krivosik. I currently live in the Netherlands. I'm a student. I study creative technology, so also from your industry. And I'm gonna talk about my experience in Nepal from the last 4 months, because that's where I spent my time.
Okay, so how did you end up in Nepal? What brought you there?
I signed up to a university program called Crossing Borders, where students can choose a non-profit organization or company to go to in any country, basically, and do some research. So I chose Nepal because it's a developing country, and I've been always fascinated by the Asian culture, and I always wanted to go to Nepal for some reason. So I chose a research topic which was about student engagement levels and how can those be improved in local schools in rural areas of Nepal. And they accepted me, and I went there.
Okay, so what motivated you to participate in such a program? Did you know what it was about beforehand? Did you have an idea?
Not really. So I have to start from the beginning a bit further back. So basically I chose this Crossing Borders program for my university, but I applied to a volunteering program where I was living in a monastery and teaching English in the monastery and in the local school as well. So my main thing to do was teaching English, but mostly in the monastery. So I chose the monastery because I really wanted to know the culture more. I really wanted to learn about Buddhism and the way they think and the way they live. And I really wanted to integrate into their life and do what they do, eat what they eat, go where they go, basically everything. And my main reason was that I really wanted to help people. Like since I was small, I've always felt happy when I could help someone. So I thought this is the perfect opportunity to put together my passion with the university project and also develop myself personally on a more personal level.
So I suppose you had somewhat of a faint idea, something you imagined you would do there.
Yes.
Was it different? Was it a surprise when you actually got there, or was it similar to what you imagined?
Yeah, to be honest, the idea was really faint. I didn't do much research. I didn't look at images of the country, or I didn't do much research from the country because I wanted to be a genuine shock for me. And even though I had some expectations, they were totally wrong. So I just the first week was a complete shock. Like I was scared, I was afraid, I was angry, I was frustrated. It was really hard because this was my first time outside of the European culture we know, and everything is different, was different. Nothing is like here. So even though I had some expectations based on what I know or what I knew, they were wrong. So everything was new.
Okay, so you were teaching English there. Give us a few examples. What was it that surprised you? What was it that shocked you? What was different? How can we imagine teaching English there?
Well, first things first, I've never taught anything ever, not English or something. So this was a challenge for me, just to go there and sit in front of the class. And I imagine that it's gonna be something like I was used to when I was in school. But it's different because the children there are really shy. So you need to imagine that when I went inside the school, I was the first white person they've ever seen. So they were afraid and running away from me and like hiding, afraid to ask questions, afraid to talk, afraid to stand up, afraid to raise your hand. So I needed to find some ways, basically my research, how can I improve their engagement level. And I had to come up with like interesting techniques like singing in the class or like doing quizzes or like I needed to buy biscuits and give them as a reward if they speak or if they answer my question. So it was a challenge, but after a while, after 2 or 3 weeks, maybe a month, they started to interact more with me because they got used to me. They knew me. They were not afraid anymore. Also, the education system there is different. They are afraid of the teachers because they might scream at them or they might use different like non-orthodox ways of making them shut up. So they were afraid, basically.
How did you communicate between each other? So you went there to teach English, you know, and I suppose English was the language that you communicated.
Yes. Well, they didn't know much English when I went there. So I was teaching class 9, 10, and 7. And class 9 and 10, they knew some English, but class 7, not really. They never spoke English. They only heard it from the teacher. So communicating in English with them was basically impossible. So I needed to translate everything into their language in Nepali and write the symbols on the whiteboard. And then also with the help of the English teacher from the school, he also translated some things. But I mean sign language and translation and basically intuition, like what could I mean if I say something? And then the children just thought of something and it worked out.
Yeah, that really sounds interesting. Okay, and you know, you stayed there for 4 months, right? 3.5 months. Okay. Other than teaching, did you have the opportunity to, I don't know, look around, get to know people?
Definitely. So I went to many places because I mean I had some time to travel as well, and I also went to Annapurna base camp at the legs of the Annapurna mountains. I did this 7-day trek, which was one of my best experiences of my life. And I also went to Kathmandu and many places around and other monasteries than I was living in. But I think the most shocking thing which I saw was like how many nice people I've met during these trips. I mean, everywhere, everyone was helping me and everyone was giving a hand, even though if I was a complete stranger.
Okay, and you've also started a fundraiser, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. So
tell us more about that.
Yes. So the monastery I was living in was really was basically on the top of a mountain inside the jungle. So it was far from the city. It was a small monastery, not many donors or sponsors. So the children there didn't have anything. They were sleeping on wooden beds with a blanket. They had no shoes to go to school with. They had only one set of clothes. They were cold all the time. So I thought this is not acceptable. So I started this fundraiser on GoFundMe to help them, and we raised 1,800 euros in a week.
Oh wow!
Maybe less than a week. And then we bought everything they needed, like blankets, pillows, shoes, hats, gloves, socks.
So these basic
everything, yes. And they were really, really happy. We really, because they never got a present from anyone. They are orphans, and
yeah, that's what I was about to ask.
Yeah, they always take care of each other. There's no adult there who could take care of them. They need to take care of each other.
So this place for the children wasn't just the school. They lived there.
Yeah, they lived in the monastery. So they were getting the Buddhist teachings to become monks, but during the day they were also going to school to get the general teachings. And then after a while, when they grow up, they can choose their path.
And now you're home.
Now I'm home.
And looking back on this experience, what are your thoughts in general? Are you happy that you got to go through this experience? What can you tell us?
Yeah, definitely. A lot of things changed in me. When I was there, things were happening fast. I was inside the loop. I wasn't aware of many things because I was in it. But now that I came home, I can see it more clearly, and I can really say that I learned many things on a personal level. So, for example, I really appreciate everything. I think when I take a hot shower, every time I remind myself that there I took only cold showers and everyone is taking only cold showers. Or when I have a home with heating, no one has heating in their home. Or when you can just call a cab, or you can hop in your car, people don't have money for that. It's a different world where people are really poor, but they are happy. And they have nothing. They have only the basic necessities. And as I see it here, I have everything, and most of the people have everything they need, even like more than the necessities. We have many clothes, we have hot water, we have a car. And I feel that I couldn't appreciate these things before. So now that I came back, I can really say that I appreciate every small thing in my life, not only physical things, but other things as well.
Yeah, I have to say that this is the aspect which I find most intriguing and which encourages me as well. I really like to participate in a similar program event, to be able to volunteer, to help, and to see something totally different that maybe we talk about quite often, but we cannot imagine. It's simply completely different.
Yes.
So let's say hypothetically, would you go back?
Definitely. I think I will go back in the next 2 years. I really want to do other tracks there. And I also want to check the children
Mm-hmm.
I was living with, because we really bonded together and we had a great time, and they were really sad when I left, and I was also really sad when I left, and I just want to go there. And I made some real friends as well.
Do you still keep in touch
Yes, of
with
course.
some people, maybe?
Yes,
Okay.
almost every day
Mhm,
with some people. And I think, why not go back if I have the opportunity?
Mhm.
But of course, do other things, visit other places. But mostly, I would go back to see those people again.
So I suppose you would encourage others as well to
Yes.
participate in such.
Well, I definitely would encourage people to go and volunteer. Yeah, it's not an easy decision though. It's a different world, and you need to keep in mind that you will lose all your comfort when you go there. Like it's poverty. So if someone wants to go there, then they have to go with the right mindset, not with no expectations. Because if you have many expectations, you're just gonna come back in a week.
I suppose that is what gives it this transformative aspect of the whole experience, to be able to see something that you simply cannot expect, even if you think about it, okay, poverty and cold showers.
It's really hard to explain what I've experienced. That's the thing. So even if I say it, it's not the same as experiencing it. And you cannot explain an experience. You need to experience it. So I would definitely encourage people, because it gives you another perspective on everything, on your life. Because we here see one perspective, and that's a different perspective. It's the same when I moved out from Romania and I went to the Netherlands. I got a second perspective, and I thought, wow.
Which was already different, and now how much more.
And now
different
it's totally different. So I think this is what people need, to have more perspectives on things, and then those perspectives can help you make decisions and have opinions and be a bit more, thoughtful.
Okay, and let's say as a closing remark, what about the future? What you finished university, you volunteered for almost 4 months, and it's something of value that you can use. But how do you continue your career or your way?
Well, that's a really good question. I'm not sure. I know one thing, that I want to do something meaningful. I would like to help other people with my work or with my business or through some other business. I mean, I don't know, but I know one thing, that I want my work to be meaningful and helpful to others, not just something I do for a living.
I see. You've said that you've always liked when you were able to help people.
Yes.
But would you say that this experience, these 4 months, reassured that
No, I was sure. I mean, it didn't reassure anything that way. I was sure before, and I'm sure now as well. I just really felt in my zone there. I was completely free and comfortable doing that. So it felt natural, and I like that. So I would like to do something which feels natural as well.
Okay, that's where we'll leave it. Adorian, thank you very much.
Thank you
for being here, and thank you as well for sticking around and for listening to Hipther Talks. And hopefully we will meet again soon. And I really hope that I'll be able to bring you, the audience, some more of these more special, let's say more, well, how should I put it, more colorful topics. Maybe something that is not as dry as the industry related subjects. But anyways, find out whether this comes to be true. So listen to us on all these podcast platforms, and hopefully see you next time.
Thank you for joining. Be sure to check back next week for the next Hipther Talks and subscribe on Amazon Music, Overcast, Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, Mixcloud and Pandora.